Soft Eyes was a record that I took my time to write. Culture-ish was a record I took my time to write. And I want to say Something to Believe In and What Money Taught Us. Those four, I took a little while on those. Like I may have written one. Normally, I write a verse in 20 minutes. I write a whole song in an hour. Those records, I might have took like 4 or 5 hours each. Like I might have worked on Culture-ish for like 4 hours. Like write a little bit, stop, sit there, reflect, write a little bit, stop, that type of thing. Those records, it might have been 4 or 5 hours each for each song. And that's kind of the longest I've ever taken to write a song. I recorded all the stuff at my crib. I recorded, you know what I mean? Like I had my man who set up the studio, my man Pocket. He did a couple sessions for me. But other than that, I'm sitting here, hit spacebar, record, whatever. Walk in front of the mic, get busy, come through. Like I learned I kind of knew Pro Tools already, but learning it even more, and him just really walking me through it, really learning and knowing how to run my own sessions, mixing a little bit, doing pre-mixes and learning how to mix a little bit and learning how to master. I've learned how to master a little bit through this time, things like that, and that was really cool. Like you said, production stuff, I want to get into it. I just haven't learned the nuances of the knobs and the buttons, you know what I mean? Like I know music, man. Like, I co-produced What Money Taught Us. I co-produced Luxury back in the day with me and Westside Gun. I've co-produced stuff. Anytime you hear a beat, a lot of times my involvement is on it because I'll say, yo, sample this, use these drums, use this right here, put this right here. I'll call my man on the trumpet, Sean Taylor, yo, son, I want you to play right here. And I want you to play it like this. And I'll kind of write the musical arrangement. Yo, put that there, kind of like Quincy Jones, even the way I want the notes to go on the trumpet, like I'll jump in and do that. Like, yo, do this. Like, do that, whatever. Like, I'll come up with all that stuff. So I am producing, but I just don't know how to work the machine. And I have one. My man gave me a machine. I have it right here. I tried to make a beat once, and after an hour, I was over it. I was like, yo, I'm done. I'm going to get a beer and watch the game. Because I just couldn't get it the way I wanted. Like, the swing that I'm known for, that I love, I couldn't figure it out on that. And I was like, yo, I'm out. After an hour, I was like, nah, I'm out. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to get this beer. I'm cooling, man. I'm out, so, but I'm going to tackle it. I'm going to tackle it soon. When I pick beats, there's always a story in mind. So I always say, okay, this is the story of this album. I need stuff that represents it, that reflects it. I need stuff that feels like everything I'm about to say on the beat. So if I'm making a record, plugs and connections, if I'm making a record talking about all that type of stuff, I need a beat that feels like it. So I'll have concepts and ideas, but I'm looking for beats to match those concepts and ideas. And then I write. I write everything on the spot. I don't write and then find a beat later. Like, I don't do that. Everything you hear, I wrote it to that beat. I may have the concept already, but I won't write a single word. I'll just know, I want to do a song called Bed-Stuy Burning. Now I need a beat, and then I'm going to start writing that song. And then that's how it works. And on this record, too, I know you mentioned Kenny. There's a lot of Chicago guys on this album. There's Kenny Keys. There's Rashid Hadi. There's BJ Chicago Kid. There's Hypnotic Brass Ensemble. It's like every joint. I was like, yo, Chicago was all over this album. Like, and I didn't even realize it until later. Hadi did the first joint, and Hypnotic Brass is on that. So that's 2 from Chicago. Then the second one was St. James Liquors, and that's Kenny Keys. And then the third one was St. James Liquors and BJ. I was like, yo, Chicago was all over this record. Yo, next time I do a show in Chicago, baby, it better be moving because y'all all over this album, man. This y'all album as much as it is mine, you know what I mean? As far as the retirement element, yeah, that was a real thing. That was a real thing. I just was not a fan of like where the game was, the industry, the shucking and jiving behind the scenes, the false promises and broken promises and cornballs. Like I wasn't really into any of it anymore. I never was. I never played the industry game, but I really was starting to get a serious distaste for it. And I thought about how much all of it was really worth. And I kind of just was in a little space and deciding, contemplating if that's what I wanted to do. Something said, of all people, hit up Fonte, who's a friend of mine. We don't talk every single day, But, we're homies, you know what I mean? That's my man, and it's all love. And, he was one of the first people on the Skyzoo train telling people, yo, he's crazy. Like he was one of the first people to really show that love and, open that hospitality to me. And something said, yo, hit Fonte. And I text him, yo, what's up, man? You free? I know it's been a while. He's like, yeah, man, give me a shout. I'm around. And we wound up speaking for like 3 hours, just about a lot of stuff. It wasn't a 3-hour call about retirement, you know what I mean? But, it was just about life and how's your kids and, music, what you listening to, just catching up. And I brought it up and I was like, yo, man, I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Like, I think I might tap out. And then we just talked for a while. As you heard on the record, we talked for a while. And the moral of the story is he was like, yo, don't let the game tell you when to leave. Don't let anybody tell you when to leave. Like you leave when you're ready. If you leave, let it be because you're ready, not because the industry or the game or the people or the media. That was the gist of what he was saying. It was like, yo, you bugging. Like, don't do it for no other reason than your own. And, that sat with me, so I took a couple more days to kind of get that I don't want to do this no more funk off of me, you know what I mean? And then I got back into it, and it's something where, spending time with my family is amazing. So you like that element when you got to travel and tour and do this and do that, that pulls away from it. So, you think about that, you think about other things, but I think I still got a few seasons left. I told my man the other day, I was like, I feels like I'm Kobe in like 2010, 2011. Like, yeah, I might have a few more seasons left. You know what I mean? It ain't my rookie year, but it ain't my walk-off 60-point game yet either. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm in the middle somewhere. I might have a little bit left. Well, I just want people to go enjoy the music. I want people to really find themselves, find their neighborhoods, find their self-worth in this album. It's a very important piece in that regard. I want people to really understand it. And I feel like I say that every time I drop, because it is. Every time I drop, there's a story, there's a message, there's a motive, and it's extremely important, and I want you to find yourself in it. So that's always been the narrative of my music. The last time it was a full-length solo album was in celebration of us. And I was like, yo, people are seeing themselves in this music and what it means to be Black and what it means to have our pride and what it means to understand our heritage and our background and making the Blackest album I could while explaining everything going on, the highs and the lows. Okay, did that. Now, you fast forward, Retropolitan, that was New York in the sense of the music. Like, how do we make sure New York is saved as far as the music? So that was really an album about saving New York, but sonically, musically, hip-hop wise. Like, how do we get back to what it needs to be and having a sense of identity? And now with this, it's saving the city in a literal sense. How do we literally save this city? How do we get back to this? How do we save our culture? And when I say my city, of course, I'm talking about New York, but, it's for everybody. Like I said on the record, please, Chicago, don't let this happen to you. Please, Detroit, don't let this happen to you. Like, because I know it ain't just New York. It may have started in New York stronger than anywhere else when it really started steamrolling. New York was the first place that got hit the hardest, but it's happening in Chicago. It's happening in DC. It's happening in Berlin and London and South Africa. I got people all over the world hitting me like, yo, that Bed-Stuy's burning. It felt like Johannesburg is burning. It felt like the west side of Chicago is burning. It felt like, Crenshaw is burning, because it's happening in so many places. So the relatability is there.